Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to my latest bread video. And in this very easy bread recipe, I'll show you how to make this fantastic and delicious farmhouse sandwich loaf. And for a change, I'll be making this one entirely by hand. But if you prefer, you can use a stand mixer too. You can view the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. I'll leave a link in the description under the video, or you can click on the eye icon top right of the screen to take you directly to the recipe page. And I'd like to thank the Patreon and PayPal supporters for their very kind help. I'll be doing the shout out and name splash a little later in the video. Okay, let's get on with today's recipe. I'll start the recipe by making sure my yeast is alive and well. First, add the sugar to a jug. If you're interested, this loaf is a 61% hydration recipe. And it works out that we need 305 grams or 305 millilitres for this recipe. It's always much more accurate to weigh your water. So carefully measure your water and heat it up in the microwave to approximately 40 Celsius, that's 104 Fahrenheit. Make sure your temperature is correct, then add your yeast. Give that a good stir until it's all dissolved. Now set it aside until it activates, and that'll take approximately 10 minutes. On to the mixing. Add your 500 grams of white bread flour to a bowl. Add your salt to the flour and mix it in. Make a well in the flour and pour in your now active yeast mixture. As you can see, mine's nice and frothy. If you don't see any activity, your yeast must be dead and it needs replacing. And that's why it's always best to test your yeast before you start any bread recipe. And that's number 4 in my basic bread making rules. And I'll add all 4 rules to the recipe page on the website. Now add the soft butter to the bowl. You can use oil or soft lard if you prefer. Okay, using my trusty wooden spoon handle, I'll bring it roughly together. Now switching to my bowl scraper, I'll turn it out onto the worktop. Make sure you scrape out all of that flour. Now using your hands, bring it all together into a sticky mass. Your bench scraper is a great tool to use at this stage. Now it's quite a sticky dough, as you can see on my hand, but don't be tempted to add more flour. It'll get a lot less sticky and smoother the more you knead the dough. Now set your timer and hand knead the dough as shown for 10 minutes. Try to follow my kneading technique. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Once the time's up, your dough should be now smooth and supple. Now form the dough into a ball and get it into a lightly oiled bowl. And there's about a teaspoon of vegetable oil in this bowl. Cover the bowl. I like to use the shower cap for this, and these and other shower caps are available in the website shop if you're interested. And now get it into a nice warm draft free spot. I like to use my oven with just the light bulb on for this. It seems ideal. Now set your timer for at least 1 hour. Now I say at least 1 hour as the time may vary depending on the temperature of your house. And while that's proofing, you need to grease a 900 gram or 2 pound loaf tin with lard, butter or oil. I like to use lard for this. Now set that aside for now. Once your proofing time's up, your dough should have at least doubled in size. Mine's looking very good and well risen. So I'll turn it out onto the bench and knock it back. That simply means get all of the gas out of it. Once your dough is degassed, form it into a sausage shape as shown. Try to stretch the outer skin of the dough as much as you can. Place the formed dough into your prepared loaf tin. Sprinkle a little flour on the dough and cover it with a lightweight dry cloth. The dusting of flour will prevent the dough from sticking to the cloth. Leave a couple of pleats in the cloth at the top of the tin, and that will allow the dough to rise unimpeded. Now get that into the warm spot. Mine's going back into the oven with just the bulb on. And set your timer for 30 minutes this time. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, so I need to take mine out of this warm spot and let it sit on the bench for a further 10 minutes while the oven heats up. And as you can see, mine is rising very well, and it's still got about 10 minutes to go. Before turning on your oven, place a pan of hot water on the very bottom of the oven. And this is just hot water from the tap, about 50 Celsius, and that's around 120 Fahrenheit. The steam created from this water will make the top of the loaf very crispy. Now set your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that's 355 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4. Okay, the oven has been heating up for the last 10 minutes. Time to prepare the loaf. Now take your baker's lame or blade and make a slash right down the centre of the loaf. If you're not confident in using this tool, do it a little at a time like this. Once you're happy with the slash, get it into the oven and set your timer for 30 minutes. And while that loaf's baking, I hope you don't mind if I give my 2 recipe books a bit of a shout out. The books have lots of our favourite easy to follow recipes from our work kitchens in them. Both books are available in the website shop, along with lots of other equipment I use in the videos. And by popular demand, the skeleton style oven gloves will soon be available too. Just click on the eye icon top right of your screen and that'll take you directly to the website shop. Once the time's up, carefully and slowly open the door so you don't get a blast of steam in the face, and get it out of the oven and take it straight out of the tin. Now, if the bread is sticking to the tin that you use, there's a couple of explanations why. Number one, it hasn't been greased properly, and number two, the tin has probably lost its non-stick coating. I'll leave a link to the UK Amazon page in the description box below for this tin that I use, and I've never had a loaf or cake stick to this brand yet. And I'm not being sponsored by this company, by the way, but credit where it's due. Now place it back into the oven in what I like to call commando style and increase the temperature to 210 Celsius, that's 410 Fahrenheit or gas mark 7, and set your timer for a further 6 minutes. This will give the loaf a rich golden brown colour and a much crustier texture. After the time's up, get this beautiful loaf of bread out of the oven and onto a wire rack to cool for a while. And it looks magnificent. Once it's cooled, I'll come back, cut a couple of slices off and have a little taste. Okay, the smell in my kitchen is so amazing. It's still on the warm side, but I can't wait any longer. Time to cut a few slices off. And as you can see and hear, it's really crusty and the crumb inside looks soft and light, and you just know it's going to be delicious. Right, I'll try some of that end crust bit with a little of my homemade butter. And the key to making beautiful bread is get your measurements correct. Digital scales in grams, can't go wrong. And oh yes, there is nothing better than a slice of freshly baked bread straight from the oven. Absolutely delicious. You can't not give this simple loaf of crusty farmhouse bread a big thumbs up, guys. And it's so very simple to make. And as promised at the beginning, here is the latest list of my Patreon and PayPal supporters. And they are Marie Begain, Georgina McDowell, Michael Churchill, Michael Niederer, Kate Bartolome, Josh Boody, Ian McClelland, and there's also 3 who wish to remain anonymous. Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.